feelings from the videos and everything like that. So, when I show, and I had this idea of, rather than focusing on any sort of rivalry or a win or a loss or a elimination or a safe placement or anything of the sort, I wanted to take a second to celebrate Chicago drag, because Chicago has had a really, really difficult year, as a lot of you guys know, if anybody keeps up with everything going on in the scene. And hi Siish. We've had a really hard year, and my heart just kind of broke for my whole city for a while, because no one was working, and we had a big change in power, which was extremely necessary and needed and important. And we just started speaking on a lot of issues and toxicity that kind of existed in the scene. And although it was really great and progressive and it was important, it caused a lot of heartache still, and it was really difficult. And it was just, it was tough. At the same time, we were in a global pandemic. At the same time, we were still in Trump's presidency, and it was all affecting my community and my people, and it was just really heartbreaking. And at the same time, I'm getting this call to come onto RuPaul's Drag Race and get ready and do all of this. It was insane. It was overwhelming. And I come home, and I know the result of that first lip sync, and I go, okay, what do we need to do in this moment? Because all I could keep thinking about were all the people that lifted me up to get me to where I was. And how, people are like, oh my God, you've only been doing drag for a few years. That's crazy that you got on the show and stuff. It wouldn't have even been remotely capable or possible if it had not have been for my community and my city, and for the people that took my hand and showed me how to block my brows and give me a wig to borrow here and there, and booked me and said, hey, I think you have something special, you should keep going. It was so important and so validating in those 2 years to receive that type of love from my city. They all saw something in me, and so when I got the call and when I found out what happened, I was like, all right, we got to give back somehow. Luckily, my city has still been kicking their asses and creating amazing art and just doing some sickening shit. And I, as much as the pandemic has sucked for everybody and not being able to work, it's given all of the Chicago artists, profound resiliency in creating art online and doing some really amazing stuff. And that's when I came across Mason Colucci and Dylan, who directed and filmed the entire piece for the Chicago Drag Excellence video. It was through a video that a regular girl had done, one of my favorite performers here in Chicago, and it was just brilliantly produced and so masterfully and gorgeously done. So I was like, oh yeah, I think this is the person that can execute this. This is the team that can execute this. And sure enough, I mean, this was probably logistically the most difficult post-production project that I have, that I had decided to do in terms of on paper, when you were looking at it and we were like, holy shit, how are we going to get 45 drag performers from Chicago safely to film this video in a space that is going to allow us in an ample amount of time, just 1.5 million organizational tricks to pull this thing off. I was like, this is going to be impossible. And on paper, it's just the most difficult thing that could possibly happen. And we did it. And it was because of Mason and Abhijit and Dylan and Sarah and Aaron and Regina and everybody that was involved with the project, particular production. They were incredible. And it was one of the very few projects I've had to micromanage. Everyone just knew what I wanted to execute, and they were so passionate about it. It was so important, and it was so great. And I am so proud to have this piece of art that now we can just have in the history books and what I would give to be in the clubs right now, playing those on the TVs and just living our best lives as happy queer people. Yeah, I would give everything for it. But you know what? At least we have it, and it's online, and it's for everyone to see, and I am forever going to be so grateful and proud. So thank you so much again to my production team that pulled that off, to every queen involved, every performer, every king. I'm just so, so grateful. You guys are the reason I am where I am. You are the reason I'm here. I love you, each and every single one of you, and I'm so grateful. So that was the point of the video. Okay, all the mushy gushy, but a little bit about the lip sync, and I will obviously kind of give a proper shout out tomorrow to Kimora and things like that, and talk about that properly, because it deserves everything. The lip sync was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, and even watching it yesterday kind of put me back in that space. It was really difficult. TV is what it is, but I knew that if I was going to have to go against Kimora, and I told her in the workroom, as dramatic as it sounded, I was like, this is my song. It is 90s house music. This is literally what I do. And I am going to give this my all. I'm going to put on a show, just so you know. And if it is us, I'm going to do my best. I'm not holding back. And it was really hard to tell her that to her face. And I don't know. She's, from the very beginning, when we first realized that we were in the running and we first got our calls, we had been attached at the hip. We were just, we were friends from before in the scene, and we had worked together a few times. But we immediately grew super close. And so it was really difficult to, to go from admiring this goddess of Chicago that I have looked up to for so many years and worked with and just been enamored with for so long, just to be in the workroom with her and be holding her hand and being like, I think we have to lip sync against each other. It was unbelievably difficult. But I remember when we got on stage, I stood there in front of RuPaul. I was like, okay, we're in the bottom. Great. Okay, work. I generally plan out what I'm going to do in my mind for any lip sync that I do, any performance that I do. Is usually a first verse, first chorus gag, second chorus gag, third gag that's like really big, something kind of a thing like that. And I had a little bit of a plan with what I wanted to do with that song. It was one of my favorite songs. When we got the iPod, I was like, work. I really hope, low-key, I get to do 100% Pure Love, because 90s house is my tea, Chicago and house music in general. It's just like everything. So I was like, all right, I have a bit of a plan, and I'm going to attack it when I go up here, because I want to put on a good show. And I just remember looking up into the lights right before it started, because it's really quiet when you're about to lip sync and the lights go down, and you just there's a moment when you have a second to kind of go within yourself. I remember looking up to the lights and just being like, you give this everything, you give this everything you got and put on a goddamn show, because regardless of what is going on around and who you're competing against or whatever, you're an entertainer and you have the ability to put on a really good show right now. So you better fucking do it. And as painful as it was to do it, I was every ice skater in the world ever that put their emotions to the side and just pressed go. And the energy in the room was crazy, because it was the first time all 13 of us were together. It was the first lip sync. And it was just wild. It was really, really crazy. And to hear the girls cheering in the back and all of that support, it was insane. And I'm really glad that I got that compliment from Rue. I don't think that she's ever said something like that to a girl before. So that was just crazy. And it was really validating. What I do is lip syncing. I'm a performer. I am a dancer. That's what I do. And so for her to be like, thank you, like, that was crazy. I wish they'd have shown the hug. Obviously, Kimora and I hugged right after the lip sync. And I was crying when I walked back, and then I was crying when she actually said congratulations, like Jante, you stay or whatever. And then we all went back off the stage, and I can't probably really say too much more about like that process or whatever. But there's a bit of like a wait before you have to go back into the workroom in D-Drag. And I lost it. And this is kind of like what, I think this was what was weird about watching it last night and putting me back into that emotion, because as successful as the lip sync was, as wonderful and fun, you know, everyone was like, oh my God, you really worked it. You put on such a good show. As successful as it was equally heartbreaking because it was my best friend. And then, to have to go off, after we had finished, I just kind of broke down and I was like convulsing and I was just really sad. It was really, really, really hard. Is Simone here? Hi, Simone. Yeah, it was really tough. And, I think it was just kind of weird to be back in that emotion afterwards because it was very bittersweet. I was happy to stay in the competition. I was happy I put on a good show, but it was hard to say goodbye to my best friend. But alas, it was a moment in history, and I'm very proud of the content that I've put out so far, and I'm really proud of that lip sync. Y'all, when you're an assassin, and when you're a lip syncer girl, and you know that that's your tea, and you get the call for RuPaul's Drag Race, there obviously is the thought in your mind that, okay, I'm probably gonna lip sync here and there. Even though, you know, you want to win, you want to do your very best. If that's your skill and if that's your talent and there's that box for it, you're probably going to do it. So I knew that, and it's what I really wanted to do because I want to showcase my ability to the world. And, yeah, I mean, I'm so proud of that lip sync. So Crystal Waters is my absolute tea. You know, anything when it comes to, like, my favorite lip syncs are usually the 90s house girls anyways. It's usually, like, Deborah Cox or CeCe Peniston or things like that. Like, very just gay 90s music. And it's so Chicago, too, you know. Chicago's the birthplace of house music. And it's just really meaningful. So I'm just really happy. My heart is very full. And I'm really proud of my city. It's so great to just see queer joy on the internet today and queer joy in that video. Just nothing but queer artists feeling happy for a day and feeling happy in a video because we've been through a lot, and I'm just really, really proud of my city. Yeah. Let's go to Queen tomorrow. Okay, Brandon. Okay, I've gabbed enough. If you guys want to ask any questions in the chat, feel more than free. I'll start answering some of those in the chat, though. Please, I don't like doing the little messages. Would I ever be a guest on Tamisha's talk show? Duh. Not even a question. I'm so glad Tamisha is getting the love she deserves because she's truly, just everything. I love her so much. Thank you. It's not that they cut the hug. That episode, there was so much material. There was 13 of us, and we had to do an acting challenge and 3 bits of the acting challenge, and then a pretty long lip sync. So I don't think they like intentionally cut the hug. I think that it was just like they ran out of time. How did you get started with drag? I'm a Rue girl. I'm a Rue girl. I'm a Drag Race baby, and I watched season 5 on a cruise ship one time, and I fell in love. And then I moved to Chicago 2 years later to pursue drag. How was your moment with Rosé? I loved it too. You guys, rewatching it fully just felt like the Titanic. It felt like some sort of like hyper overdramatic rom-com almost. I was just like, we have to make it. You have to be here for me. Like, it was so dramatic, but truly being in it, guys, it felt that dramatic. It was scary. I was just from the top and then all the way back to the bottom. I was like, oh my God, this fickle ass competition. It can like, it can be swept away from you in a second. So I was just having a moment, and I was connecting with her, and we had connected from the very beginning because of God knows what. I don't know. I felt great energy with Rosie. I always have, and we just kind of clicked. And then, I don't know. She's one of those people, like, again, you can read her eyes really well. You can read the emotion she has in them. And I couldn't look at her because I was like, I feel like I'm going to cry if I look into your eyes, or if I whatever, because I know you're going to say some tacky emotional shit or something. And sure enough, we were like, you gotta do it. Be here for me. But it was honestly so beautiful. And, obviously we had connected not only because of our personalities, but from the lip sync from before. We were just really proud of ourselves. And then to had been there in the bottom all of a sudden one episode later was like, I needed a boost, and I was really grateful that she did that for me in that moment. I will never forget that. I will absolutely never forget it. It was really important. And then the moment with Kimura too, it was really dramatic, but also very real. I was just like, let's do this for Chicago. Like, all I could think of was my city. All I could think of was how they were hurting, and here we were hurting again. So I was like, let's just put on a good dance fucking show and go for it, Yeah, anyways. Sí, hablo español. My drag name, it comes from where I grew up. I grew up in Alaska in a city called Fairbanks, and it's in the territory of Denali. Everything is named Denali, like Denali Banks, Denali Center, this and that Denali. And Denali actually in Athabascan Native language means the Great One. So I was like, oh, how fitting. It's just a very cute name. There's another story with it, but I can't talk about that one just yet. How was filming the Chicago drag video? It was really hard. I'm not going to lie. Filming the video, we filmed it over 2 days. And we planned it out for about a month and a half or 2 months. And we emailed all the performers, and everyone was required to receive and submit a COVID test. They had to submit it within like a certain time period before the shoot. And then we were hyper extra careful on set. And the reason it took 2 days, because we had to do it in pods. So you'll never see anybody in more than a group of 4 that's in the video, because we had to film it in pods so that there weren't more than a certain amount of people in the space. And, we did it super, super safely, and I'm just so proud of the team for making sure everybody was taken care of, for the organizational aspect of it. Trying to get 40 some odd drag queens to do anything at all is insane, let alone get tested, get your drag, get here on the time of their actual like pod slot and everything like that. It was incredibly difficult, but we did it. And Abhijit was like my main person in helping organize all of that. And I'm just so grateful for Abhijit. Please go follow them. They're an incredible drag performer, an amazing friend, and I love them so much. So yeah, we did it over 2 days. I think it was from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. No, it was like noon to 10 p.m. like over those 2 days. One day was noon to 10 p.m. And then the next day, Kimura and I shot ours first so I could get out of drag and continue to direct the rest of the day. So the second day of filming, I had to get up early and get in drag, film my piece, and then finish directing everybody else. So it was really, really hard. And everybody hustled a lot, worked really, 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 really hard. I'm just really proud. And, what was really cool is when I reached out to everybody, everyone unanimously was like, yes, let's do it. We'd love to be a part of this. So it was just really cool to see everybody want to be part of such a cool project and stuff like that. Yeah. Sí, hablo español. My birthday is April 1st. Wait, your birthday's April 1st? Dilro band. My birthday is April 1st. I'm an April Fool's baby, and I am an Aries. That's funny. Do you guys like my new Billy shirt? When did the filming take place? We did it the first week of January, so right after New Year's, I think, like the 3rd and the 4th. Which also shows you how quick that editing turnaround was, because it is, the 22nd? It's not even the end of the month yet. yeah. Shout out to Transit Productions. You guys are incredible. How did I get into the Chicago scene? Literally, I just chose it. I was like, I am obsessed with Chicago queens. At the time, it was the up-and-coming, amazing queens that we all revere and love now. Shea Coulee, Kimchi, Pearl, Valentine, Kimora, Trixie, and, that crew of people. And I just wanted to be one of those girls. I was like, I'm obsessed with them online. I want to be one of these queens, these specific kind of queens. So I came to Chicago, and I worked hard, met the right people, and here I am. Boom ba doo ba doo boom ba doom, bum ba doo 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 ba doom ba doom, boom 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 boom. Pure love. My boyfriend's gonna kill me. He is so over that song. You guys. Thank you. Who did I love on season 5? Detox coming at you with the slow verse. Detox is one of the most incredible performers I've ever seen. And she is one of the most magical people to watch in their professional element. That's what I would say about Detox. She is so, she's just so polarizing. She's incredible. I love her. And Alaska, I loved Alaska. Honestly, I loved that entire cast. Such a good season of Drag Race. What was the inspiration behind the Chicago Excellence video? Pose, we took a lot of inspiration from ballroom and from, balls, and we wanted the category to be Chicago Drag Excellence. So, I took a lot of inspiration from Pose. I wanted Shay to kind of be this, omnipotent vocal over all of us. And then just kind of go into, all of us walking and feeling our fantasy and feeling joyful and just feeling like we were back in the clubs doing our thing. Just feeling queer joy. I just wanted everyone to feel happy again. And I'd say the most rewarding part of the entire thing was hearing Lucy Stools laugh while hanging out and filming with her girls. That was the coolest thing, was hearing Lucy's laugh. And if y'all haven't heard Lucy's laugh, you are missing out. It is just the most heartwarming and glorious sound to your ears. Can I say a word that describes every queen of 13? Oh, that's so long. Hello. There were a lot of people that I wanted to be in the video. We had to say no to quite a few people simply because of either not getting the test in on time or if they weren't feeling well the day of. We had plenty of legends like Mimi Marks, Monica Beverly Hills. There was just a lot of people that I really wanted to be involved, but a lot of them weren't feeling well that day. And I was like, if you are not feeling well, I cannot have you here. So unfortunately we had to be kind of strict with a lot of them, but that's COVID. How long have I been doing drag? I've been doing drag for 2.5 years. My anniversary is my birthday, April 1st. So actually it'll be 3 years in 3 months. Mm-hmm. Who is my favorite that has been in the show so far? At all? I always just like answering my favorite drag queens in general. So my favorite queens, I would say, are Shay, Naomi Smalls, Camilla Fox, Tenderoni, fucking Lila Starr, and I would say as well, Detox. Mm-hmm. OMG, only 2. That's insane. You seem so seasoned, talented. Thank you. Hola, Mexico. Donut's chilling on the couch. She is chilling. Donut does identify as a cisgendered female, so she. I do not hate season 7. Season 7 was a fantastic season. Icons came out of season 7. I love Valentina. She's everything. How long have I known Kimura? Since I started. Once I won my first amateur show, the very next show that I had done, which was like winning that amateur show means you get a booking at that show. That show, Kimura was in the cast that night, and we met. So it was like I had been doing drag for like a couple of minutes, and I had met her. So I've known her the whole time. My favorite Disney movie. It's not a Disney movie, but I think it's like DreamWorks or something. I love The Prince of Egypt. I think the music is gorgeous. There's something like, it's incredible. I grew up on that film. It's absolutely amazing. And Anastasia. Anastasia is also one of my favorites. I would love to come to London if London was open. Yeah, book the doll, book the diva. Shouldn't say doll, sorry. Y'all like my jawline? What was the first song you ever performed? It was a remix of Naughty Girl by Beyonce, and it was like a ballroom salsa remix of it, and then it went into Mi Gente after that. The song was like, and then a remix, because, you know, gotta always remix it on the girls. Thank you. Okay, so I'm not Guatemalan. I am Mexican. I am half white, half Mexican. The quetzal bird is an interesting... I know that it's the national bird of Guatemala, but we wanted to take it in like the light of like how it was represented in Mexican culture as well. I know it kind of represents a lot of different things. It's definitely very, very famous as an iconographic. It's iconically Guatemalan, I'm aware. But it also represents a lot in Mesopotamian and Mexican culture. So I'm just really proud of it. I think it was still beautiful. And it's just like, I feel like a nice dedication to Latinx roots in general. And I thought it was just beautiful. It's just a beautiful fucking tropical bird. Thank you. Have I seen Broadway shows? Yes, Waitress the Musical is one of my absolute favorites. Someone asked, does Roscoe's really do it better? Yeah. I don't think I did say I dated girls back in the day in that workroom talk. Hi, Twink Trash. But I did date girls. I just think I didn't speak up in that moment. Thank you. This is my natural hair color. It is jet black. It was not a toucan, but it could have been. Did I say Mesopotamia? I'm sorry, I meant Mesoamerica. My bad. I am into K-pop. I love K-pop. My favorite figure skaters are Yuna Kim, Stefan Lambiel, and Amber Glenn. What's the meaning behind your name? I already explained it. I will talk about that later. Hi, Brazil. My favorite Billie songs? I actually really love her hyper-depressed ones. I thought When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go was one of the best albums in a long time. Just packaged gorgeously. And I actually really loved, like the final 3 songs from that, like the real chill ones. I loved I Love You. I love, what's the one, Take Me to the Rooftop? The one right before I Love You. I forget what it's called, but it's like really good and I love it. If you need me. Listen Before I Go. So good. Nice eyelashes. Thank you. I have been very insecure about my eyelashes because they're super straight. Do you see them? They're like so straight, right? So weird. They have no natural curl whatsoever. So very useful, very protective of my eyeballs and what they should be doing. But it's my joke. They're the straightest thing on me. They're the only straight thing about me. And every time I put lashes on, I literally have like these two pairs of lashes going like this. So if anyone has any ideas on lash perms and if those are actually the thing or if they're really the tea and if they really work, I would really invest in one because I can't stand how straight my lashes are on the top. I want them to curl just... They're so long that I think they'd be gorge if we curled them a bit. But anytime I use an actual curler, they're so dense and like whatever that they just don't do anything. So, yeah. Trade. Thank you. Okay, guys, trade. Remember, trade is not... Let's just move on from that word. Like, just say he's hot, you know? Trade has a lot of roots in different cultures that, like, it's us appropriating drag slang again. Like, trade means it comes from a different place. Go to Candy's tweet. She explained it really well. But just say he's hot. Eyelash perms are great, much better than extensions. Lash lift. Lash lifting is great and cheap. Thanks, y'all. You guys are so sweet. Yes, I am Mexican. Soy mexicana. Sí. Mi familia es de Chihuahua. Mi mamá creció en El Paso, en Texas. Y hablábamos un poco en la casa español. Pero, en mi opinión, creo que habla muy gringa. I know, it was fun when Simone was live. She was in here for a second, wasn't she? I speak 3 languages. I speak English, Spanish, and Korean. I lived in Seoul, Korea for a year. How did I feel when Rue told me that it was so fun? A little awkward because obviously Kimura had just been eliminated and that was a little weird. But really proud of myself for receiving that kind of recognition because again, that is exactly what I do. I'm a lip sync artist. I am a dancer. I'm a performer. So to be validated by one of my heroes in front of my face was fucking wild and it was crazy and I was really emotional. Yeah, so it was very cool. Why did I live in Korea? Lesbian rights. I lived in Korea because I studied it in college. It was my minor, and I wanted to get better. And I feel like the only way to get better at a language that is completely backwards than yours is to immerse yourself in it. So I did. I threw myself into a very, very, very intense language program in Korea, in Yonsei. And it really helped me learn it. I'm slowly forgetting it a lot, but sometimes I do remember. Would I want to do Work the World? Literally the biggest dream, at least for like right now, would be to perform with Voss and perform with Work the World. I would absolutely, like, big, high energy stage production. Are you kidding me? Imagine. That is exactly what I would like to do. My favorite 21 song, Nega Jay Talaga. And If I Were You, it's so good. I'm not doing a look tonight.